Hello everybody and welcome back to Quest 64. In the last video we made it all the way through to the bottom of Boil Hole, and in the depths of the earth we have our boss, who we have to defeat before we can move on to our final area of the game. So we're gonna go face to face with none other than the very famous Fargo, who we have been chasing for a very long time. Welcome, fool. You have done my work for me and brought me the other 3 precious jewels. That weakling Bigus thinks that I will hand them over to him. Wrong. I, and only I, will be the king of Keltland. The world belongs to me. Now hand them over. Well, that's what all the other 3 guys said, and I practically wiped them off the map. And this guy honestly really poses not a lot of threat at this point in the game. He is a fire user, and I'm a wind user. Not only that, but my wind is maxed out, so I have a lot of damage causing potential here. I'm gonna use the Soul Searcher ability just to pull up his stats real quick. He does have a ton of HP though, so it might take you a little while to defeat this guy, especially if wind isn't your primary element. You have a lot of other choices though. At this point in the game, I'm sure, depending on what spells you do have. And his attacks and his kind of pattern are very similar to the other bosses, you know, Solvaring, Zelsi, and Nepti. At close range, he's more devastating than he is at long range, so try and stay away from him if you can. Use Giant Shoes or Wind Walk if you have that ability. Magic Barrier is also insanely useful. You can block his attacks for a couple of turns, which gives you the chance to heal if you need to, or to go up and attack him with your staff, or whatever it is that you need to do. So this might take me a little while, but I'm really not worried at all. With Wind Cutter, I'm doing hundreds of damage per turn, so I'll probably have this battle done in 10 turns or so, although I'm not gonna keep count or anything. Every couple of turns, I'll try and refresh my magic barrier. I don't do it too often because I find that the more I try to use it, the more it misses. And of course, while you're doing this battle, you'll just want to keep a close eye on your MP and your HP. But with Magical Barrier, which I haven't used a whole lot, just because, again, it's so overpowered, you can really breeze through this boss battle and through any kind of tough situation just by nullifying all of the damage that's being done to you. And that's about it for strategy. Again, you'll have to formulate your own strategy depending on what it is that you want to do. Some people really like to be ballsy and just go right up and attack the guy, and that might work too. Either way, he goes down in a couple of turns, like I said, nothing too much to worry about, and we pick up the Fire Ruby. So with our last stone, we actually have all 4 of them. And that was our primary goal of the game, was to collect all of the spirits, all of the gems that held the spirits. So now all that's left is to go to the final area of the game. We're going to pick up our final spirit of this cave in the corner here. And then we're going to pick up one last treasure and move on. There are actually no enemy encounters in this area, which is really nice. I can just kick the boss's butt, collect my stuff, and go in peace. I quite like that myself, personally. I got a pretty sweet HP boost when I defeated Fargo, so that's nice as well. And we rid the land of a vicious murderer, which is also just icing on the cake, I guess, just some brownie points for Brian. Although I don't particularly feel like going back to Limland to tell all the people that I defeated Fargo. Although I guess I could, maybe I'll do that for fun if I feel like I just want to mess around a little bit at the end of the game here. But nothing really stands in our way. The only thing that we haven't really done at this point is find our father, which we will hopefully be able to do shortly, if ever. We're running low on time. But now we come out into this very, very spooky, kind of depressing environment. This place is known as Baragon Moor, and just like with the area at the other side of Boyle Hole, it's kind of got a funny landmass. Everything has all kind of been shifted up. There's cracks in the earth. It really looks like this place has been hit by a giant earthquake or something like that. And we're going to talk to some of the people of the area as we move on. First thing we're going to do, though, is we are going to rest up and collect a couple of things over in this house over here, which is kind of cleverly hidden in my opinion. Say, are you traveling somewhere? If you're trying to get to Branic, you'd better not go. Would you like to stay for the night? Well, I would like to stay for the night. But I'd also like to go to Branic, so I'm going to excuse myself. But not before I loot your house of all its worldly possessions. I'm going to pick up our first element for this area, and I'm going to put it into Earth, so we can max that element out. And the only thing left to do is just to put all of our remaining points into Water. At this point, I feel like the game is just handing out spirits and treasures out like candy, but I'm also not complaining because I like getting stuff, especially free stuff that I don't have to pay for. And it's also beneficial to me because I'm now at the point where I'm going to be stockpiling items for the point of no return in the game. Some of this stuff is useful, some of it's not, but we'll take it anyways. We'll take it off this old man's hands. He should give me stuff anyways. I'm gonna go to the castle. It sounds like a pretty dangerous place, so I'd better stock up the best that I can. And if you go behind his house, there's actually another spirit. So let's grab this one as well. And that's 2 of 5. There are 5 spirits in this area before we're able to move on. And as soon as you're done that, you can go and you can actually go around this crack. And once you do, this is the point where you'll start getting into enemy encounters. There are 4 enemies in this area, 3 of which are completely new. And I recommend resting at the house because there is one enemy in particular that can really overrun you very, very fast. And these are actually the guys I'm talking about. This might actually go south very, very fast. These are the red rose knights and the white ones. And this is a very interesting combination. This is a lot of them at once. The red ones I think are more to worry about because they are wind, and their wind cutter does about 50 damage a piece. The White Rose Knights, not so much, but it's a very unfortunate combination to see both of them here at the same time. This guy's absolutely brutal, and because he has increased agility, he might be a little bit difficult to take down. But my recommended strategy for these guys would be Avalanche, simply for the fact that if you can get a very well-placed Avalanche, you can take out this big mob of enemies absolutely no problem with nothing to worry about. Which may be faster than trying to hit them with your staff with their high agility, or some other type of spell like Rock level 3 where it could just go over their heads, for example. But that's just me personally. And especially because the red ones are wind users, my wind spells won't be terribly effective on them. I kind of have to come up with an alternate strategy. Spirit number 3 was over there to the left of the big doors, leading to the next area, and the 4th one is over to the right of the big doors. And finally, we're going to head directly east, and we can see our last spirit out in the distance over there. So quite a bit of collecting for a very small, concentrated little area. But like I said, it's nice that they're kind of just handing out some spirits last minute, so we can really make ourselves a little bit more powerful. I'm gonna take out these enemies. The only reason I'm fighting these guys is because I think it's good at this point in the game. It's a little bit of a challenge, which is kind of exciting. And I do need to do a little bit of grinding because I completely skipped grinding altogether in Boil Hole because it felt like a complete waste of time. I would like to get a little bit more MP and a little bit more HP before we move on to the final area though. I'll probably end up doing that off screen. And if I find any more enemies, I won't fight too many more of them. We also didn't run into the other enemy encounter in this area, which is too bad. It's an ogre enemy. And they're gigantic creatures, but they're very easy to hit with avalanche as well, just because they're so big and bulky. I guess I could go down here and see if I could run into them. I don't actually recall if they make an appearance in the next little area we'll be going to or not. Just because my memory's not the best. But the game seems to be giving me a little bit of a curse here. It doesn't want to show us. And I don't want to spend too much time here because we're actually done with this area. We can move on from here. I don't feel it's too terribly important. But maybe in the next area we'll run into them. But again, nothing special or anything like that. And if we go through the gate here, this is actually the town of Branic, which again, very, very dire, very depressing, very dark. And if you talk to the people, they are also with the same type of attitude, very dark and very depressing. We're gonna go right down this road here so we can go to our inn and so we can also pick up our pair of wings. Why would someone come to Branic when war is about to break out? Why don't you stop for a rest while there's still time? Sure, I don't really know what kind of war you're talking about, but I will keep that in mind. I wonder what Shannon has to say about all of this. A shadow has fallen on the city. King Baigus brings pain and anguish to all. He has rounded up and jailed many who rose against him. It's even possible your father's in prison, if you tried to challenge the king's powers. Ah, our father. I wonder if our father made it all the way here. This kind of seems like the end of the line. I guess it's that King Baigus fellow who is wanting to wage war on whoever for whatever reason. He was also the guy that burned down the town of Greenock there so very long ago. I haven't had a customer in ages. Why don't I just give you a pair of black wings? It is important that you understand that wings will only work in wide open spaces. Our final pair of wings for the game. I feel as if we haven't gotten a pair of wings in forever. So that's actually kind of nice to kind of just get a pair of wings. So we have them all in our inventory. And with the black wings, that's kind of where you might want to consider using some of your other wings to bring you back to some of the other cities to restock on supplies if you're running low on bread or healing potions or anything like that. Now is the chance to do that stuff. This town is kind of the last stop before the point of no return, so just keep that in mind, everybody. I think I'm going to end the video off here. We'll do a little bit of exploring in the city next time before we move on, but I think this feels like a pretty comfortable place to end things off. So thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.